It's been a while, but we're back to talk about some Nuggets basketball. You're watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. Let's get it. How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler, here for another take of Nuggets basketball. I've been off for a while, as you've probably seen. Haven't been posting much lately, ever since the All-Star break. And if you caught the live, I hope you enjoyed it. One note about that is that the feed apparently stopped like midway through. So a good portion where I thought I was actually filming didn't even show up. So if you go and look at the live there on my channel here, you won't see the full thing, and it's really frustrating because I was holding that camera for like 2 hours, and my back was hurting, my arms were like getting sore, but I still did it, and I felt really good about it. There was some awesome stuff, you know. I got Steph Curry draining a half court shot from behind his head, and then looking at the footage, that's not on there. It's really sad. And then there was like nothing of Jokić on there, so I apologize. And that's kind of why I didn't go live when I was on set. So if you were hoping to catch some of that behind the scenes stuff of being on the set, I apologize. I just didn't have enough time to really problem solve any kind of the live issues, and I just had to focus on my job at hand, which was the cinematography job, and it was a big task to take on. It was a brutal last 5 days. We had some night shoots and everything, but we did get the film done, or at least the production-wise of it. It's now going into post-production. I'm super excited about it. We got a lot of great footage. Here's some couple of steals from the film. So if you are interested in this kind of stuff, be on the lookout for Park La Brea. Title might change pending, but for now it is Park La Brea, and then it will come out most likely first in festivals, but then hopefully it will start making the rounds of streaming and everything. So it was pretty stressful as well. We had a lot of setups. There was like 5 or so different camera rig systems that I was using. I had one on sticks, which is a tripod. And I had one that was a handheld mount setup. There was a shoulder rig setup. There was a gimbal setup. There was a slider setup, which is just rolling the camera along on a slider unit. Pretty much what it says, sliding it. So a lot of different setups, and there was long one take from that went like for 5 minutes or so, several of those. There was nighttime shoots with little light. There was time lapses. There was slow motion in time lapses. A lot of fun. It's a very exciting film that I'm very proud of. So hopefully, if you guys want to check that out, I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that. So, but now we're back into it. What did I miss? Let's see here. Since the All-Star break came out, we barely won against the Hornets. That was really frustrating to see. I did watch it, luckily enough to see them win against the Hornets. And it's really strange because the night before, the Hornets beat the Lakers. Then we beat the Hornets. And then that following Saturday, the freaking Lakers beat the Nuggets. And not just beat, they blew us out in Mile High. I was very upset about that. That was actually distracting me a little bit while I was on set. A 20-point blowout at home from our rival, the Lakers, was not the way that we wanted anything to go this season. Say what you will about the other losses, that was one that I'm sure it hit a lot of us. So then we responded well then with a good win against the Pacers, which a lot of people question, was it a good win? Is the Pacers really a good win against? And I do think that it is a good win. They're 4th seed in the East. They're playing really good basketball right now. So the fact that we did win that game does say a lot. And, if you look at the long-standing games right now, the stretch that the Nuggets have been playing, out of the last 12 games, the Nuggets have only lost 2. 2. That's it. Just 2. We've won 10 of the last 12 games. That's a pretty good record to stand on, if I do say so myself. So then that's counting tonight. So the Nuggets were in Milwaukee, and they to take on the Bucks. If you remember last year, the Bucks crushed the Nuggets, absolutely blew them out. It was close to a 40-point blowout last year, and very embarrassing loss, especially because we were the defending champs last year, and then we got blown out by Milwaukee in Milwaukee. And so then it was kind of more up for, can the Nuggets respond this year? And I think that they did, but not to the standard that we all wanted them to. And we'll get into it. But first things first was that Peyton Watson was still out. He's been missing a lot of games lately. Apparently his knee sprain is still giving him some issues, so they are keeping him out right now. The starters are the typical now Nikola Jokić, Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and Jamal Murray. The Nuggets were wearing their white jerseys. The Bucks were wearing their green. And the Bucks won 121-112. And this game definitely reminded me how horrible Bucks fans really can be. I always attribute that to the Celtics fans and the Lakers fans, and occasionally Warriors fans can be pretty horrible, but man, I keep on forgetting just how horrible of human beings Bucks fans can actually be. Just super entitled, super complaining. The free throw discrepancy this entire game showed just how favorable the Bucks fans or the Bucks were getting the whistle, and yet at one little hint of a foul in favor of the Nuggets, the team or the entire crowd would be booing, and the Bucks themselves would be throwing a tantrum. It's one of the main reasons why I cannot stand Giannis. He is a child. From even down to that one game with him versus or the Bucks versus the Celtics, and he did that little fake handshake over to Jaylen Brown. And mind you, again, I'm anything but a Celtics fan. I cannot stand the Celtics, and I cannot stand Jaylen Brown. But I do stand on the sportsmanship. And Giannis has never shown that he can be a good sportsman. He is a horrible athlete in that aspect. In training and everything, yes, but in his attitude, he's on the LeBron level of tantrums and little kid childish antics. So this game definitely reminded me of all of that. But what happened in this game? Let's break this game down. So the first quarter, the Bucks won the tip. And immediately, Brook Lopez scored the first points of the game with a floater. But Jokić quickly responds with one of his own to tie the game. And then Milwaukee builds, after that, a 5-point lead until Jokić draws a foul on Lopez beyond the arc to sink all 3 free throws. And that was probably the best, I would say, play that Jokić had all night. And it was really just, I guess, fun to see him kind of get the better of Brook Lopez, which I don't know if I'm the only one that notices, but Brook Lopez runs really weird. He runs like Frankenstein. I'm not trying to put him down in any kind of weird way of attacking the way he looks and everything, but just seeing how he runs really weird. Am I wrong? It feels like he runs really weird, like a Frankenstein. He doesn't know how to run correctly, if that's even a thing. But So Jokić draws that foul from him, which was great because he was definitely a pest. Brook Lopez was the say what you will about any of the other players. Brook Lopez was the main pest of the Nuggets tonight. Then the Bucks answer with a strong run, extending their lead to 9, capped by Kuzma sinking a three-pointer and forcing Coach Malone to take the first time out of the game. Brody then checks in and immediately makes impact, scoring 6 straight points and sparking a 10-2 Nuggets run that cuts the deficit down to 1. And then a hustle play from Brody to Christian Braun gives Denver its first lead, which was a great play. If you haven't seen it, it was definitely a fantastic effort on both Brody and Christian Braun. Brody got the steal, tapped it up. Christian Braun then finished it up and tapped it back further down the court, got the ball, and for the layup. It was great. And we are starting to feel a little bit good about the Nuggets, starting to feel like, okay, yeah, we're going to win this thing. And then so they gave Nuggets the first lead, but with 2 seconds left in the quarter, Damian Lillard did Dame things and sinks a 3 with 2 seconds again on the clock to tie the game. And then it was like 0.2 left after that, not enough for the Nuggets to do anything. So the first quarter gets tied with both teams. Second quarter, the Nuggets opened the second without Jokić, but Strother gets the first points of the quarter with a floater. Sloppy plays, though, from both teams lead to low-scoring stretches with turnovers, trading buckets, keeping the game very tight. Brody continues to show elite defense, seemingly the only Nugget locking in on that end. And then Aaron Gordon drills a 3 to get the Nuggets first to 50. And despite a scrappy finish, the Nuggets win the second, 27-24, taking a 57-54 lead into halftime. So, we're feeling still good, even though we have only a 3-point lead. And then the second half happens, third quarter. The Nuggets open the third quarter with a 3 from Jamal Murray. So again, now we're going up to 6. We're feeling pretty good. And then Lillard responds back with his own 3. And then the Bucks turn up the pressure even more, taking a 3-point lead after Giannis drills a 3 of his own, followed up with a dunk off of a turnover. And then Nuggets start to look sluggish. Very, very sluggish and fatigued. And we haven't seen this since December. The Nuggets just were not, did not look like themselves. And they had 2 days to prepare for today. They had 2 days off. And yet they looked like they had been playing nonstop. This is what I said from the start. Did I not go back and watch my previous episode before the All-Star break? My biggest worry was that the All-Star break, the Nuggets were going to look rusty. They were going to look sluggish. And here we are, and they have now struggled against good teams, and they're playing very sluggish and risky with the bad teams even, and now they're even losing to teams like the Bucks. So it's not, I'm not saying it dooming it or anything. I do truly believe that the Nuggets are going to build off of this loss, and they will come back and show why they are a dominant team still. But this game was just definitely one of those off games that they had. And I know that they know it because you could see it on every issue or mistake that they made. Those players were physically showing that they were frustrated. So there's also the issue that the whistle was not in favor of the Nuggets tonight at all. And so the Bucks need to understand that. They won. Yes, the Nuggets had sluggish energy. Yes, their defense wasn't great. But at the same time, you also add on top of that, the refs were 100% favoring the Bucks over the Nuggets. And the Nuggets were definitely getting fouled up and down the court, and yet nothing was getting called. So I wouldn't put it all on the Nuggets tonight. There was a lot going on with the whistle. So with that said, the Nuggets... or the Bucks rather, capitalized on the energy shift, winning the quarter 30-24. At one point, they had a 12-point lead. And the Nuggets, give the Nuggets credit, they did battle back. Despite all of these challenges, they continued to fight back, and they did as much as they could, but it just wasn't enough. So the fourth quarter, the Bucks open with a turnover, and the Nuggets strike first with a layup from Brody. AJ Green answers then with a three, and then Jamal turns over the ball, leads to an easy Bucks bucket. Green then drills another three, forcing Malone to call another timeout as the Bucks push their lead back up to 9. Gary Trent Jr. then extends the lead to 10 with another deep shot from beyond the arc. But then the best Nuggets play came from Christian Braun, who then posterized Lopez. Just as annoying as Lopez is, the way he runs and just how pestering he was in defense against the Nuggets and everything, blocking Aaron Gordon's shots, just really being a nuisance. It was so fun to watch him get posterized and then stand there like an idiot that he looks like, while Christian Braun then completed a 3-point play on him. That was the best play of the game. Besides anything that the Bucks did, that was the play of the game. And it put Lopez on that extending list of players that Christian Braun is continuing to posterize. Gobert again, Jimmy Butler, now you got Lopez on there. Other players too are on that list. Let's go Brown down. He had a good game. Despite some issues here and there, I feel like overall CB had a good game. Jokić also secured his 27th triple-double tonight. So great effort from Jokić. Too bad that the rest of the team didn't really show up that much. Aaron Gordon had a horrible game. Michael Porter Jr. had even a worse game tonight because off of a missed free throw from Jokić, Michael Porter Jr. was able to get the rebound and then missed his chance for 3. He was tonight 2 for 11 attempts from 3. So he made one earlier on. He missed this one. This was I think 10. And then he was, and when he missed this one, it kind of really solidified the game then for Milwaukee. But he did get another chance to get a 3, and he made that one, but it was too little, too late. So the Bucks then take the fourth, 37-31. So they won both the third and the fourth quarter by 6, and they win the entire game, 121-112. So 9-point win, but they won. And I will once again remind everyone that they got blown out last year by the Bucks in Milwaukee, close to a 40-point game. This year, only lost by 9. So there is some, enhancements there, or, they did play better this year than they did last year, but it's still a loss. And it just still shows just how difficult it is for the Nuggets to win in Milwaukee. Don't know why. It's just Milwaukee. But for some reason, they can't play there very well. So give that win to the Bucks. Give them credit for they did play a decent game despite the fact that the whistle was in favor for them. And I'm sure that they will ignore that fact and make them seem like they're the best team of the world, but they're not. So we'll move on and we'll get into stats after this. As a cinematographer, photographer, and now a podcaster, I do believe lighting is everything. And if you're serious about creating dynamic content, you need to check out Nanlite. They're all about precision and control. Whether it's soft, natural lighting or vibrant colors, Nanlite gives you full flexibility to set the mood for any scene. From compact LEDs to powerful softboxes, Nanlite has light solutions that fit every setup. It's ideal for photographers, like myself, videographers, like myself, and creators who want to pro-grade quality right out on their fingertips. With Nanlite, you're lighting like a pro every time. And we're back. All right, so stats here. We have Michael Porter Jr. Played 35 minutes tonight. He had himself a double-double, so there is that. He had 12 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. He was 5 for 22 from field goal. He only had a 22%. 2 for 11 from 3, like I said, so 18% there. He had 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls, was a minus 20. Horrible game from him tonight, despite the fact he did have a double-double. Like, he had some good rebounds, I will give him that, but other than that, he just was not good tonight. I mean, Aaron Gordon wasn't much better either. He played 32 minutes tonight, and he looked still being, like, I don't know what it is, but he was starting to look a little better after the All-Star break, and now he still is looking sluggish again. So he only had 9 points tonight, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He was 4 for 13 from field, 1 for 6 from 3. He had 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls, was a minus 14. And there was one specific play where he straight up got mauled by Giannis. And because Giannis is Giannis, the refs let it go and didn't call it on him because, God forbid, Giannis gets a foul called on him. But he 100% brutalized Aaron Gordon for no reason, and it wasn't called. And then it affected the mindset of Aaron Gordon. You could tell he just was off the entire game after that. So then we get to Jokić, again, 37 minutes, 32 points. So this was definitely 100% a specific point or a game showcasing Jokić as the overall best player of this game. Say what you will about Giannis, Jokić is still better. Chant MVP all you want, Milwaukee. Jokić is still more of an MVP than Giannis is. 32 points. Giannis didn't have 32 points. Giannis only had 28. So, Jokić still beats Giannis. Giannis is still his little brother there. 14 rebounds for Jokić, 10 assists, 1 steal, 13 for 16 from field goals, 1 for 2 from 3. 5 for 7 from free throws. He had 5 turnovers, which was unfortunately a bad thing, but that's also because he gets doubled so often and none of the rest of the team helps him out. So yeah, they're going to have a couple of turnovers there. Luckily, it was only 5. He's had more before, so 5 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. He was a minus 5. Then we get to Christian Braun, who played 31 minutes tonight. Should have played a lot more, if you ask me. He had himself also a double-double tonight. He had 13 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 5 for 11 from field, 0 for 2 from 3, 3 for 3 from free throw. So he was 100% in his free throws. He only went to the line twice. One was a 3-point play. The other time was actually when he got hacked at the baseline, and it was actually one of the rare times that the refs actually called a foul in favor of the Nuggets. So he got that and luckily made both free throws. And then he had 0 turnovers and 4 personal fouls. He was a minus 12. Jamal Murray played 39 minutes tonight. He played the most amount of minutes out of all the Nuggets, and he was a little bit of a disappointment. I wouldn't say that he had a bad game. I wouldn't say that. He's had better games, yes, but he still was very efficient when he was shooting compared to most players. He had 20 points. He had 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and that's kind of where I say that he didn't have a great game because it's only 1 steal. He had no blocks. He usually has a block. He has usually more rebounds. He usually has more assists. He was 3, 5, 1. 9 for 20 from field goal, so 45%. When you look at Damian Lillard, or even better yet, Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma had a 33 percentage. So, Jamal Murray, 45. So not a huge, not a horrible game for him tonight. He usually shoots around 50. So that's sticking roughly in the same area that he's playing around. 2 for 5 from 3. He's usually around 50 there. So a little bit deeper, a little lower tonight, but still, I'm not worried about it. 2 turnovers, 0 personal fouls, was a minus 13. He did not go to the free throw line once tonight. That is the issue. He didn't go to the free throw line. Aaron Gordon didn't go to the free throw line. Michael Porter Jr. didn't go to the free throw line. All of them got hacked or fouled in some way tonight, and it wasn't called. And that just really is the tone of the entire game. And that's probably why they looked very fatigued and off tonight, because they just were tired of trying to get the refs to notice that they were getting fouled. And so that probably affected their overall feel tonight. So big things with the bench was that Russell Westbrook played 25 minutes. He had 10 points. He was 1 for 4 from 3, 4 for 13 from field. He did have a steal. That was that steal that I was talking about in the first quarter, which was awesome. And it was kind of unfortunate that after that amazing start that he had, he kind of went downhill. He didn't have a great game after that. And then he had 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls. Strother played a better game, but because he's been on a little low, if you've noticed, he played nearly 20 minutes, 19 minutes, had 12 points off the bench, and he had 2 for 4 from 3. And he, real quick, is, so much pressure is being put on Jamal to be better and to be the key to the Nuggets getting a chip. I would actually say that not enough is being said about Julian Strother. He should have the same amount, if not more, pressure to do better, because we need more bench players to play well. And when we don't really have a good bench to start off with, he needs to step up. And when he doesn't step up, that's when the Nuggets are actually starting to fall behind. Because right now, most of the time when we are eking by with wins, it's because the starters are playing so well. But when the bench plays well, that's when we actually start to win. So Strother needs to play better. 12 points is a great start after having only like 2 points, sometimes 0 points. He needs to get back to playing at least 20 points a game. So he's a big key that I don't think enough is being talked about right now. Overall stats, we had 55 rebounds to their 48, so we out-rebounded them for one. We had 28 assists, they had 25, so we out-assisted them tonight. 8 steals to their 8, we tied there. 2 blocks to their 4, and that's primarily Kuzma had 2, Lopez had 1 on Aaron Gordon, and then Giannis had 1. So not a huge gap there, only 2 blocks difference. But we shot 44 from field, they shot 46. So we shot better from field than they did. We shot 26 from 3. They shot 41, and there you go. If you look back at all of the games that the Nuggets have lost, more times than not, you will notice that those games that we have lost, we have shot worse from 3 than the opposing team. And here is case in point. We shot worse than at 3. And right now, this is not the 90s where we live in the paint. This is a new era, the Steph Curry era, where everything is done by 3, which props to Steph Curry tonight. He had a 56-point game against the Magic. That's phenomenal. He's still playing at a great level tonight, or at his game or age level. So, but to this specific point, the Nuggets need to be better at threes. They are a high percentage of threes, not tonight though. And again, it shows. When they play bad defense, when they don't hit their threes, they overall suffer. And then, the bench as well. So free throws, we had 81%, they had 82%. But here's the kicker. We went to the free throw line 11 times. They went to the free throw line 28 times. Don't tell me that wasn't a off or not a biased night for the refs. That was 100% a bias call night for the refs. 28 free throw attempts from one team. Meanwhile, the other one was only 11. Like, give me a break here. That was horrible. That was such a gross officiating game. And then we had 13 turnovers. They had 11. Not much different there. They had a lot of turnovers too, but they were able to capitalize more often on their turnovers than the Nuggets were on theirs. We had 17 personal fouls. They had 11. Come on. That is just stupid. The NBA really needs to look over their officiating. I feel like this is just getting out of hand. Like, if you want fans to come back, if you want fans to actually engage and watch these games, officiating needs to be more consistent. It needs to be better. It can't be biased. When it shows up bias, that's when the frustration happens, and that's when people start to walk away. So NBA definitely 100% needs to revisit their officiating. But we're going to get into big takeaways after this. Hey everyone, let's talk sound quality. Imagine having pro-level audio that's easy to set up, flexible, and sounds incredible. That's the Rode PodMic USB. It's got both USB and XLR connections, so whether you're recording solo at home or in a full studio setup, you're covered. And get this, the built-in DSP effects let you adjust the sound with zero lag. You get that deep, smooth broadcast tone right out of the box. It's versatile, powerful, and basically makes your voice sound like pure gold. And we're back. All right, so big takeaway tonight. Going back to just the Nuggets looked fatigued. They really just didn't look like themselves. This was the second game of their road game series here. It's the Pacers, then it's the Bucks tonight. Tomorrow it's actually going to be the Pistons, so we're back at this again tomorrow. And then I believe it's Sunday or Monday, they're going to be playing against the Celtics. And then they come back and they face the Kings at home. And then I believe they go back on the road. So this is a very difficult stretch now. They had a very easier stretch, I guess, going into All-Star break. They played well there, but they need to play consistently well coming out of that, and they just haven't done that yet. Am I worried? No, I'm not. They are still a high level winning team. Many people like to criticize them, saying that they haven't won against good teams. But when you really look back at this team and this season and who they've won against, on that list of who they've won against is the 1 seed in the West, the OKC. Second time that we met up with them, we beat them. So we're not beating good teams. We've beaten the good teams. We've beaten the Lakers. We've beaten OKC. We've beaten the Grizzlies. We've beaten the Pacers. We've beaten the Clippers. These are all supposedly good teams. We've beaten them all. We've beaten, even like right now, Golden State is on a good stretch right now. We've beaten Golden State back before they even were sinking down below the play-in, when they were still on a high back at the start of the season. We beat them. So it's not really, we're not able to play. We're not able to beat good teams. We're 100% able to beat good teams. It's just the energy level. Are they able to maintain the energy? Are they able to be consistent enough to play good defense? I am 100% behind Malone when he says that these games start and end with defense. When the defense doesn't show up, the Nuggets aren't going to win. It's just simple as that. Like, you go back to now when we're looking at the next big game is going to be against the Celtics, right? When you look at the first matchup against them, they didn't even have Jokić in that game, and they almost beat the Celtics. That's because the rest of the team was showing up, and they were actually playing hard and playing good defense. It's just that the Celtics managed to be able to get off some better shots, and they also played a little dirtier. And they, especially with Jaylen Brown kicking that drink onto the court to give them an extra time, So then you won't see the Nuggets playing dirty like that, but they still played hard. They played the right way, and got to give them credit there. Like it doesn't sit well with me when media and fans go so hard on the Nuggets and they don't really look at the ups of this entire season. It's all negatives. It's all dooming them. Like, they're still third seed in the West. Like, if they had won tonight, we would have reclaimed the second seed. That's simple as that. We would have reclaimed the second seed. So we're still in a good area right now. We're still in a very good spot. Then also Jokić, 27 triple doubles. Like, that alone is nothing to sneeze at. So you have Jokić playing well, and he's always going to play well. Even when he's at his worst games, those are still decent games for the rest of the league. He's still, and the loss against the Lakers, he still got a triple-double in that loss. It was a low triple-double, but it was a triple-double nonetheless. The guy is a walking triple-double. Then you go to Michael Porter Jr., who still is averaging double-double, despite the fact that sometimes he plays really poorly. And again, the issues with Michael Porter Jr. are the consistent ones of ball watching and low energy at times. And he just needs to battle that part. When he plays at a higher level, the times that he did multiple 30-plus games, that was when he was playing at a higher level. He wasn't ball watching. He was playing harder. When he's not playing harder, then yeah, you're going to get a worse game from him. But even tonight, he still made a double-double. Christian Braun is always consistently having a hard playing game. He may not make every shot. This is only his third season as an NBA player. So he's still going to make some mistakes, but he's playing hard. Aaron Gordon, I think, is the most inconsistent one right now. And it just kind of shows that, is he really healed from his injury? But then he had a calf injury, right? Giannis is on minutes restriction as well because of a calf injury. But he was bouncing around. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, does Giannis really have a calf injury? I'm starting to doubt it. I think that it's just antics to try to save him from playing harder or really needing to play more minutes. I think that Aaron Gordon legitimately is injured, because if there is anyone that would want to play, it's Aaron Gordon. Giannis just wants to get a paycheck. So I think that, Giannis wants the praise and the light. He's a diva of a player, Aaron Gordon is not that. Aaron Gordon is Mr. Nugget. He is 100% a tough player. And for the most part, up until now, he's been able to push past some of the tough injuries that he's had. Last season, he was all banged up. He hit the ground super hard, and towards the end of the season, got back up and still went back at it. He was a little battered and bruised, but he still got back at it. He definitely has that Mamba mentality that a lot of people reflect back on, that a lot of the today's players don't really have. Aaron Gordon does have that. It's just right now he is super banged up, and rather than trying to risk not even having him for the rest of the year, he's still trying to do his best to get well for the playoffs. So, and then we go to Jamal Murray. And Jamal Murray, I believe, ever since he really had his breakout game against the Mavericks, he has been playing consistently well. Yeah, he will have a bit of an off day now and then, so I'll give that to him, because I guarantee you, if not next game against the Celtics, he's going to have a great game. He probably will have a good game tomorrow too, to be honest. So I'm not worried about that. The biggest worry for me right now is the bench. It's always been the bench. It's been the bench and the defense overall. Those are the two major things that right now that the Nuggets need to get better at. Russell Westbrook, since returning from his injury, has not been playing really well. I know it takes a while to get him back from injuries, so I'll give that little break to Michael Porter Jr. I'll give that little break to Russell Westbrook. I'll give that break to Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, though, needs to be honest with his injury, and if he's not feeling well, maybe sit out a little bit more. Rest that up a little bit more. Do all the workouts you need to do to heal up. Russell Westbrook, however, if he's feeling injured, maybe also sit him out too, because tonight he was shooting bricks, he was turning over the ball, but I will give him credit, he was still playing hard when it counted. That amazing play between him and CB in the first quarter, like that's what the Nuggets need to consistently do. But it does get a little bit concerning when he gets the ball. I start to doubt whether or not he can make the shot, and just hoping that he passes the ball, because there was I think 3 consecutive plays tonight where he got the ball and each time tried to go for a 3 and each time bricked it. And yet he still continued to try to make the 3 and it just wasn't working. And on the other end, the Bucks were getting buckets. So it's like at that point, stop making the threes or stop attempting the threes and just make the easy bucket. Michael Porter Jr. also missed 2 easy buckets tonight, 2 bunny hops. That was also really frustrating. But, they're going to have off nights. Again, when we look at the last stretch of 12 games, they've won 10 of those 12 games. Yeah, they've lost against the Lakers. Yes, they've lost now against the Bucks. But they're playing also a lot of good teams now, and they've won against the Pacers. So that's the start. We'll see tomorrow. The Nuggets are statistically the best team in the NBA on a back-to-back. They will play the best second game of a back-to-back. So tomorrow we'll see that. They've only lost, I think, 1 back-to-back game. So we will see how they play tomorrow. So what does this all do for the Nuggets, this loss? Let's talk this out, right? So the Nuggets now are sitting, let me see here. The Nuggets are now sitting still again at the 3rd seed. With this loss, they are now 38-21. They are a game in front of Houston. Houston is sitting on a 2-game win streak. Behind them are the Lakers with a 3-game win streak. So we are now a game and a half ahead of the Lakers. Memphis, we are now a half a game behind them. They won, I think yesterday it was, and then there's the Clippers after that, which I don't think we really need to worry about the Clippers. So I think that at worst case we're going to be at the 3rd seed, and I'm kind of okay with that right now. The East side, the Cavaliers have now already clinched the playoffs already. They have an 8-game win streak. Them, along with the Pistons, are the 2 teams with the longest win streaks. They're both 8. So it'll be a big game tomorrow, regardless. Even though it's the Pistons, it's still a big one because they're sitting on an 8-game win streak. They're 6th in the East right now. Boston is still 2nd seed. New York is 3rd seed. Boston took a bad loss against the Pistons last night. So, but that shows more in favor of the Pistons than I guess it does against the Boston Celtics. But I would still be embarrassed if I was Boston Celtics in that loss. That was an embarrassing loss for them. They typically don't lose by that much, and they got blown out by close to 40 points last night. So I'm always happy when to see that though for them. So and then the Pacers, they're 33-24. So it's anyone's kind of game, I think, on both sides. But the one thing is for sure, the Cleveland's going to end up with the 1 seed. OKC is going to end up with the 1 seed on each respective conferences. And then Boston most likely is going to end in the 2nd seed. So those are the certainties. The next thing that's up for grabs, I would also actually say that the Knicks are probably going to end with the 3rd seed. I'd probably put money on that. But in the West, the 2nd to the 10th is all up for grabs. Pretty much you lose a game and you drop down now. Every team is so freaking close together. So that's where this kind of starts to get a little stressful. And this is why we really needed to win tonight. But we didn't. So now what do? We have to win tomorrow. The next games So like I said, we're back at this again tomorrow against the Pistons. They're in Detroit, so still on a road against them. And then we jump to Sunday. Sunday, they're going to play the Celtics, and that is an ABC game. So another nationally broadcasted game, also on ESPN Plus if you have that. So that's a big game. And then they come back home, and on Wednesday, they face the Sacramento Kings, followed by on that Friday, the Suns, both in Denver. So we got a couple of home games, thankfully, after that. And there's like a couple of days off. So hopefully they get a little bit of rest time in between there. But we'll see how they do. Right now, also, the Lakers are playing tonight. And let's see. They most likely are going to beat the Timberwolves tonight, which is unfortunate. So that will also change the standings. They'll be then probably a game behind us now, not a game and a half. So that's not good at all. They should have won against the Lakers. That's really just frustrating that they won, that the Lakers won and we lost. So, but what can you do? I wanted to real quick do something different tonight, and I wanted to show kind of basically give hope to a lot of the Nuggets Nation, and just kind of get a little temperature feel for how things are going. So I wanted to go over the playoff as it stands right now. So this is the bracket for how the playoffs will go. So as you see, there is the play-in tournament, and then there's the 1 through 6 seeding of the teams who are actually in the playoffs, and then the play-in of the teams who will battle to be in the playoffs after that. So right now, if we go over the East, right, we have the 1 seed, which obviously is the Cavaliers. We have the 2 seed, which is obviously the Celtics. And then we have the New York Knicks in the 3rd seed, and they most likely, if the things were going to end right now, they'd be playing the Detroit Pistons. Then the Pacers would be playing the Milwaukee Bucks, which oddly enough, they faced some last year. So now we're back here to, again, them facing each other once more. Then it gets even crazier because we have the so the 7th and 8th place right now would be with the Magic and the Heat. The Heat are in the play-in for the 3rd consecutive year. That is crazy. But then even more so is that, once again, same thing as last year, the Hawks and the Bulls are going to be facing each other as it stands right now. Last year, though, the Bulls were seed 9, Hawks were 10. Now it's been reversed, and now it's Hawk versus Bulls. So the winner of that goes into the next round. The loser of the game between the Magic and the Heat would then face the winner of Hawks and Bulls. So right now, I would guess that the Orlando Magic would win against the Heat. So they would go on and they would face the Boston Celtics. Then we have the loser of that match going to play the winner, which I would actually guess right now as it stands, it would be the Hawks would win over the Bulls. So you would have the Miami Heat facing the Hawks. I think out of that right now, the Hawks win that match. So the Hawks go and they face the 1 seed Cavaliers. This is interesting because the Hawks have been the one team that has really consistently played well against the Cavaliers. But I still say that in a 7-game series, the Cavs win this one, right? So we move on. So now you have the 2nd seed and 7th seed, which would be the Orlando Magic. They battle out. I think that the Celtics would still win that match. You have the 1st seed and the 8th seed of the Hawks. The Cavs win that one. You have the Knicks and Pistons, and I believe the Knicks would win that one. 4th and 5th of the Pacers and Bucks. I still think the Pacers would win against the Bucks on this one. So they go on to face the Cavaliers. I think out of that match, the Cavs win. right? And unfortunately, as much as it kills me to say, I think the New York Knicks would lose against the Boston Celtics. So the Boston Celtics and the Cavaliers would face in the Eastern Conference Final. I think out of that match, unfortunately, the Boston Celtics would beat the Cavaliers right now. In a 7-game series, they would probably win. So most likely, I feel like the Boston Celtics will be going to the finals again this year. Now we go to the Western bracket here. So first seed, obviously, is the Thunder. And then you have Memphis Grizzlies. But I really would take a guess that the Denver Nuggets are going to get the second seed at the end of the year. Yes, it looks kind of iffy right now, but I have strong faith that they're going to get the second seed. So we're going to go with that idea, right? So their second seed and the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be third seed. So we have that. We have the Golden State Warriors, 7th place, Minnesota, 8th place, Dallas Mavericks are 9th, and Sacramento is 10th. Out of the Dallas and Sacramento matchup, I think Sacramento would win. But that's also, I want to say, contingent on if Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford are healthy. Because if they are, the Mavs will actually win. But we're going to say that they're not for this argument's sake. And if that's the case, the Kings win. They move on to face the loser of the Golden State and the Minnesota game. I think Minnesota wins that one. So I'm going to say that the Golden State Warriors once again face the Kings for the third straight playoffs in a row. I think the Warriors would actually win, so they would go and face the Thunder. I think the Thunder wins that match. Meanwhile, second seed Nuggets face the Timberwolves once again for the third playoffs in a row, and this time the Nuggets win. They get the second playoff win over the Timberwolves out of 3 chances. And so they win the 4th seed, which is Houston Rockets, and then the Lakers. I think the Lakers win that one, unfortunately. So the Lakers advance, and they go on to face OKC. And then you have the Grizzlies versus the Clippers. I think the Grizzlies will win that one. And then the Grizzlies versus the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets win that one. So then you have OKC and Lakers battling out. I think the Lakers actually will win against the Thunder. Call me crazy. I think the Lakers are, unfortunately, there's just something about them that kind of throws the Thunder off. Unfortunately, the Nuggets aren't able to throw the Thunder off as much as the Lakers are. So the Lakers will win that one. And now we're back to the Lakers versus Nuggets in the Western Conference Final for the second time or the third time in like a span of 5 years, right? And once again, the Nuggets win. And you have the Nuggets versus Celtics in the finals. That's what I imagine happening. I kind of hope it does happen in that way. If I'm wrong about anything, I hope it's just that the Knicks actually make it to the finals, because I will say it again, that's the finals that I want to see the most. The Denver Nuggets versus the New York Knicks. Both of my teams. I love them both, so they both need to make it there. This little fun thing, let me know what in the comments section who you think will be in what seeds at the end of this season, and who will advance to the finals. As it stands right now, I think it's going to be Denver versus Celtics still. So hopefully I'm right, and hopefully the Nuggets don't let me down. You know, this team, it can be frustrating, but they can also be very hopeful. And that's the biggest thing that I've taken away, is that they're very much a team built on hope. So we're not the ones on the court. They are. And we just kind of have to speculate and see what we can see. And hopefully they play better the next time around. They know better than we do what they need to do. But we just have to speculate other than that. So just want to go real quick back over to the All-Star game and kind of really, break that down. It was really, it was a fun experience to go to the All-Star game. If you haven't already gone, it was fun in the aspect that it was fun to see all of these All-Star elite members putting up some shots. But if you go to the practice, I would say it's actually overpriced. Because you're pretty much just paying a ticket just to see them. Their effort and everything in practice is next to nothing. And without Luka there to put up the trick shots and to clown around with Jokić, it was kind of a little bit boring, and you could tell Jokic was missing Luka. He was then trying to do the same kind of tricks and everything with other players, and it just wasn't the same. And so it was a little bit disappointing there. Also, the fact that the game before that, they had apparently the celebrity game, because so this year, since it was in the Bay Area, and there's two arenas in the Bay Area. There's the Chase Center, which is in San Francisco, and then there's the Oakland Arena, which is in obviously Oakland. So that arena is where they held the celebrity game. If you are aware of what the All-Star Weekend is like. You have the first night is usually with the celebrities and then it's also with the rising stars. Unfortunately, Julian Strawther's team lost. If you didn't know about that, he lost in the first round, and he didn't get nearly enough time. It was all bias for the Thompson twins, which is really annoying. But I digress. So the celebrities were in the Oakland Arena, the same arena that the practice was held the next day, which is what I went to. And they didn't restock any of the merch in the at the event. So there was already tons of sold out items that they were displaying, but it was sold out. It was really kind of unorganized, to say the least. Then it's very, very crowded. So you pay so much money to go and just see other players there, not really doing a lot, in a very, very crowded area. It was very crowded, that to the point where it was difficult to find a seat. So it's kind of a first come first, service kind of mentality with these tickets. There was no assigned seating. You got into the area that you paid for. It was like a section that you paid for, and so when you got into that section, then you just had to basically rush to get a seat. What you want, where you wanted to sit is, or take whatever is left over, and it was very unorganized, very crowded, and you barely got to see really a lot of the players do anything really cool, except for again Seth Curry putting up a half court shot behind his head. That was really fun. It was also pretty cool to see Rocky there, the mascot Rocky, Nuggets, mascot, the best mascot in the world of all mascots. That's not even up for debate. Like, Rocky is the best, and to see him clowning around with Jokic was really fun. But it just was more or less kind of boring. I don't know if I would ever go back to the practice again. But I'm intrigued to still go to the game. So maybe the next year, or in 2026, it's going to be in LA. So we'll see. I'll either go to the dunk contest, or I'll try to go to the actual All-Star game. But then the All-Star game this season too was also still low energy. Like, there was one game that had energy, and that was just because the Shaq's OGs didn't want to lose to the Rising Stars, and so they started playing hard there. But other than that, again, low effort. And I think in all honesty, I think they should get rid of the All-Star weekend. I might be in the minority there, but it's like the players have already shown disinterested in it. And when that happens, there's not a lot to really incentivize them to play harder. Unless you do a Four Nations kind of deal like what the NHL did, where the NHL players actually did play really hard. So props to Canada for winning there, especially with Nathan McKinnon there, getting the MVP award there again. He's just amazing. So I'm very much happy that he is on the Avs team. Let's go Avs, who also won yesterday, winning 5-1. Great win at home. So not a horrible week for Colorado. We still got a good win against the Pacers. The Avs still got a win, so we had some winning. And tomorrow, I just am staying positive that the Nuggets are going to bounce back from this loss, and they're going to take it to the Pistons. And the Pistons' win streak is going to be over tomorrow night. Cross those fingers. So that's pretty much all I got tonight. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Share it out to your friends and family. And you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. We'll catch you tomorrow.